So, as part of my SEO experiments for Health 3, I've been doing a bunch of different things with SEO, but I've decided also to give a try to LaunchDirectories because a bunch of you have already tried it and have had good reviews. And so I wanted to see what it's all about. It seemed like quite a nice offer that they have. And I'm quite impressed with the results. So let me quickly show you, huh? What I've done is they have a couple of different offerings at the LaunchDirectories. Um, if I scroll down on their site, they have these kinds of three tiers, and I went with the premium. So it's quite pricey, right? But they say, hey, we're gonna get your product into 100 different directories. Now, I was not sure if it's actually going to be a good fit for Health 3 because it seems that a lot of directories are kind of from developers for developers, right? It's some kind of SaaS tools or AI powered tools to make development or product operations distributions better, which is not the case for my app, which is health, wellness, mobile app on top of all of that. So I reached out to Christoph from Launch Directory, and he said, no, actually, we think it's a good fit, and we think that even though that you have this particular niche, we have experience with submitting such apps, and they will make it into the directories. That's not a problem. And so I went with that, and it took extremely short amount of time. I think it was like 2 or 3 days from me closing the order, and I got this cool report from Christoph and from the team, where you see kind of all the different directories, right? There's 107 lines. Well, okay, 100 lines, 100 submissions, to the different, also the directories to which your app was submitted. You actually see their DR, and which is kind of useful if you're trying to hunt for backlinks and trying to give some initial authority to whatever your product site is. So this is nice. I found this quite cool. The only thing I was not quite sure about is I've seen also Tiny Launch being included, which I consider already quite a high-grade launch service. I think Chris has done an amazing job with it, and it's meanwhile something that I think needs a bit of a personal touch from the founder. So that I had to cancel afterwards. But the rest sounds pretty good to me. Now, what did it actually do? I mean, I'm measuring. I have my website, my landing page in a Frog DR, which I love for kind of tracking the changes to the DR. And before, I think something like November 28th, something like that, was when I ordered when I went with Launch Directories, right? And so I was at a DR 27. Ignore this earlier there. That's kind of because all spam links of different companies trying to sell you services by giving you a backlink were removed. So I was at the DR27 with the page, and it took not so long. It took 4 or 5 days maybe until this December 2nd, and then the DR skyrocketed to 33 and eventually 34, which, considering is not a linear scale, it's some kind of I think, logarithmic. This is kind of a big deal. This is kind of a big push. And even cooler is when you look at the actual backlinks and referring domains that exist. Because, again, if I look at the dates, up until November 30th, there's occasionally some backlink added from whichever person talking about a website. But starting then December 1st, you suddenly see kind of this barrage of 36 new domains and 29 new domains and blah, 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 blah. And this keeps going on for the past 2 weeks. Right now it seems to have slowed down as slowly the backlinks get indexed. So I think, now I don't remember if I can see here the old backlinks. No, I don't think so. But this was in low thousands or high hundreds, the backlinks here. I mean, this was a massive improvement. Yeah, I don't think I can change the time scale here. And you see, just on the number of domains, we've gotten basically 100 new referring domains, where nowadays we are at 114. So most of them have come from these submissions, and most of the backlinks as well. So that's pretty cool. And obviously, it also immediately shows on the domain rating. Now, there's no views per se coming from it. If I look at the last 28 days, that's very few views anyway, going to the landing page. You kind of see that maybe there's been a few. I don't track the source, which I should, but I mean, we've gone from some 20 to 30 views to some 50, right? Or yeah, around 50 per day. Or not even views, but like impressions in the console. So I'm assuming that also the Google rankings will take a little bit of time before they reflect the new DR and the new backlinks and whatnot. So there, I would not expect, if I was you, too much change immediately. That might take a bit more time. But I wanted anyway, 2 weeks later, after using the service, already give you a bit of a view into what it does, because I find it super cool. Saves a lot of work and it has some results. So if you're trying to get your app in front of some people, consider this. It's, in my opinion, it's worth it, and I have a feeling that to my service, it was beneficial to go with Christoph's launch directories. So yeah, that's a short update from me today. I really like the result of this small experiment, and I'll see you next time. Take care.